Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that I have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. The New Mutants number 30 from 1985, a Secret Wars 2 crossover. Um, I'm going to tell you right ahead of time, I'm not covering Secret Wars 2. I am covering Secret Wars 1, but I'm not doing 2. I really don't care about the second one. So cover here by Bill Sienkiewicz here, as we've got Cannonball and Dazzler against these creatures here, these other gladiators. Bill Sienkiewicz with his one of his many handwriting or signatures, a lot of them. So Chris Claremont is our writer. Bill Sienkiewicz is the artist. There is a different letterer here, and everybody else remains the same here. So we're the singer and her song. So Chris Claremont is gonna kind of fill in that this story takes place after it says here Secret Wars 2 number 1, in which the Beyonder has turned dark. Magic, who's Ilyana Rasputin, Colossus's sister. She's the leader of Limbo, which is where we are, and he's turned her into Dark Child. And here we see, I believe this is Kitty Pryde here, and this is Phoenix, Rachel Summers, Sam Guthrie, but this person here dressed as one of the New Mutants is a Dazzler. So um and so you can see here that Ilyana has sort of become that demoness. And Phoenix says this place is coming apart at the seams. And Ilyana's the cause. We gotta protect ourselves best we can till we can find a way to calm her down. I don't know if that's Sam saying it or Dazzler. Anyway, but Cannonball says, Rachel, use your telekinetic power to keep those boulders away while I ignite my fire as Cannonball and blast them to powder. And Dazzler says, at least with my talent, we'll have light enough to see what we're doing. And Cannonball says, trouble is, Dazzler will also be able to see what Ilyana is doing to us here. So Bill Sienkiewicz's art can be a bit messy, but it is so beautiful at the same time here. And you can see, man, oh man, how beautiful. And so, and you can see that Ilyana is sort of doing these weird things to them here, and Claremont's explaining it. But anyway, Kitty's like, enough, Ilyana, you've had your tantrum. And she thinks here, oh great, she summoned her soul sword. The magical blade can cut me even when I'm phasing. Wish I knew why. Cripes, it's supposed to be silver like her armor. Gimme, Rumi. And she takes it away. What the silver again, blazing with eldritch fire. And so she aims it here. And I'm wearing her armor. This is crazy. I'm no sorceress. How can this be happening? She says. Heck, I'll worry about it later. The sword disrupts any arcane enchantment or being. Let's hope it can return Ilyana to normal. So you can see her cutting through here. You saved us, Shadowcat, says Dazzler, and cured Ilyana. Yes, I'm sure. And she thinks here, of the symptoms, Sam, the outward manifestation, but not the disease itself, the cancer that's trying to rot her soul and may have infected mine. And she says, That is another one you owe me, Beyonder. You took away the man I loved, and now you deliberately hurt my best friend. I don't care anymore who or what you are, or what it costs. I'm going to make you pay, she says. So, all right. And so we're going to sort of pick up right after we left off. And Chris Claremont says, after providing a change of clothes, Ileana teleports back to Los Angeles. And she says, this is as close as I can come, temporarily or spatially, to where we fought. To be honest, Sam, if I never see that creep again, I'll be happy. And Cannonball points to the payphone here. But he was fighting the X-Men and some Avengers. We gotta know what happened to them. We gotta warn people. The Avengers have a toll-free 800 number. If I can't reach any X-Men back home, I'll try them, he says. No answer at our mansion, and now some operator's giving me a runaround. Bet she thinks it's a crank call. And Ileana says, give her the message and hang up, Sam. We've got more important things to worry about. Two of our friends were kidnapped, remember? We were all set to rescue them when we got shanghaied to battle that dumb alien. And so it says here later. Don't feel right cutting out like that. We should have done more, something more. We five kids tackling a god. Give me a break, Guthrie. And so Ileana's right, Sam. The job's better left to professionals. I've got the info we need, Kitty. Thanks, Ray. Let's roll, Sam. And pray we don't get stopped, since this is Leela Cheney's car and none of us have any driver's licenses. Crumbs, we don't even have ID. Sam, take it easy. I thought you could drive this beast. And he says here, this is awesome with the, is this a Porsche? Too many people on a Porsche here. And Sam says, sorry, Kitty. When the time came for me to get my own wheels, the money had to go to pay my daddy's doctor bills. I didn't really miss it. I was working too hard, supporting my family. And Kitty says, I understand. Just do your best. Okay, guys, what we're doing is following the ticket. Dazzler recognized the owner of the mansion as a member of the audience at the Gladiators Arena. Ray's Syscan just told us where he got his ticket. She'll probe the seller to learn where he got it and sew up the line until we reach the source, which should be the same crooks who grabbed Sunspot and Magma. And Cannonball says, sounds easy as pie. And Dazzler says, isn't there some other way, Kitty? Spying on some people thoughts seems so wrong. Couldn't we call the police and let them handle it? It's hard to know who says who here. So it says New Mutants adolescents like the X-Men take care of their own. Involving the authorities runs too much risk compromising our identities. Considering the current attitudes toward mutants, we'd probably be the ones thrown in jails. Also, the longer this takes, the greater the possibility of Bobby and Amara being hurt. Trust me, this is the best way. And Kitty says here, I wish I knew why they refused to come with you. Sorry. Let me start. I wish I knew why they refused to come with you when they had the chance. Obviously, the gladiators have some hold over them to force them to do as they're told. But what? You used to be one of them, Allison. Any ideas? And Dazzler says no. Kitty, I could learn what you need to know by infiltrating the gladiators. And Kitty says, a generous offer, but you're not trained for this sort of work. I am. You quit the gladiators, you nearly put them out of business. Why should they trust you? It's too risky, Daz. It's better if I go in your place. And Sam thinks here, or is it Dazzler? No, it's Dazzler here. You don't trust me either, Kitty. You suspect I'll be swayed by old loyalties and friendships and betray you, but I won't. And I know just how to prove it. And so elsewhere you see Sunspot being hit here by this is this mace? Um and Sunspot says, "Careful, you stupid, stupid boy. As Sunspot, you may be incredibly strong, but you're not invulnerable. Fortunately, I'm not alone in that regard." As he kicks the guy, I win. The crowd evidently approves. I am nice as he kind of walks away. But what do I do when victory itself isn't enough? When they want blood, shed, or even death? And Magma says, "Berto, you're hurt." And he says, "I am? I am. Fancy that, I never realized. Your first badge of honor, lad." A holographic image of the gladiator's leader, he says. "Among the gladiators, such scars are treasured. I'm overwhelmed with joy, Flynn." And he says, in I'll tolerate insolence, Spot, but only to a point. Never forget the children held hostage to your good behavior. While you and Magma obey, they continue to live. Should you defy me, however, should you escape or defy me, they'll be slaughtered. And you can see Sunspot does not like that. And so now we're in this house up in the Hollywood Hills here. I have her thoughts, Shadowcat. Dazzler's in that car. She's scared stiff. And Shadowcat says, as much of me as the villains, I hope, of all the idiot stunts. And then someone appears here. Is this the Beyonder? Yes, I believe that's the Beyonder appearing here, and they're not noticing him. "You want me to blast down and carry her to safety?" asked Sunspot. "Or I could use my psi power to force her away," says Phoenix. "Just mind call her, Ray. Let the dummy know we're here." And so she does. Allison, Dazzler, "I hear you, Rachel, but please, but please don't stop me. This is something I have to prove to myself. I heard Sam's friend Leela call me a junkie, and the gladiators like pure heroin. I have to know if that's true. If I'm addicted to the thrill of the spotlight, and if it is, whether or not I've kicked the habit." And Sam here says, "No, she isn't a New Mutant, Kitty. You have no right to put her in such danger." And Kitty's like, "It was her choice, Sam, and my decision to respect it." And so Rachel thinks here, "What? We're not alone on this hilltop. I sense another presence, but it's so indistinct, like a psychic ghost. Try as I might, I can't focus. Oh no, what's this? Kitty, it's Dazzler. The mansion's suddenly been surrounded by a powerful sight screen blocking all my probes. I've lost contact." So this would be the Beyonder who is on Earth for Secret Wars 2. But again, if you would feel free to go to the Marvel website and read all about the Secret Wars 2 if you are so interested in doing so. And so Dazzler goes inside and says, "Hi, Vitch, it's been a while." And he says, "We figured we'd never see you again, Dazzler. How'd you find us? Why'd you come?" And Dazzler says, "I couldn't make it on the outside. I've got nowhere else to go. You're my friends. I missed you." And this Frankenstein lady says, "And our life as well, I bet." And Dazzler says, "I wish I could lie, Ivich, and say that wasn't true." And he says, "We want to accept you, kid, but you got to prove yourself. This is a stronger version of the original drug we gave you last time you joined. It'll lower your inhibitions. Intensify your violent nature. We'll have to fight to keep you out of the arena. You want in? Drain the flask dry." And so someone here is watching, so we still don't know who this is. So splendid. And she snaps her finger. "How blithely doth a former slave once more don her chains. Champagne?" And so this guy's like, "At once, master. How quickly she will learn these these will never be removed. This affair is proceeding wonderfully. It is very nearly too delightfully good to be true, which prompts the prudent man to immediately prepare for disaster. A telephone call to San Francisco should deal with it. So, all right, we'll find out who this is soon here. So, uh, Carillon Towers, please connect me with General Gwen uh, Gok Koi. I'll hold. Why do you tremble, my pet? Do you fear me? No, master. Do you love me? Yes, master, yes. Then, as an expression of love, die for me. Hail the prodigal daughter. You are now as much my property, Alison Blair, as this goblet, to do with as I will. And she destroys the goblet here. So, you should have an idea who this is based on how big it is, and if you're familiar with the X-Men, and so you should have an idea of who this is. But there's a bit of a neat surprise that not just this is really two people here in the same body. So it'll be a good surprise if you don't know who this is, but if you do know, it was actually a very cool reveal and very good. Says here, later still, you got a name, girly? Cat. You say you want a job? Yeah. You got credits as a techie? Yeah, last 3 Lila Cheney tours, but I gotta pay rent till the next one ready to roll. I heard you were hiring. You got a real attitude. You know that? Hey, pal, I'm the best. Prove it. Fix this module here and now. And she says, no problem. Of course, Kitty's really good at electronics. Ivich, catch a look. Dazzler's starting her act. And so here is, this is really cool with all the black. And then this is in that great magenta here. And so we can see Dazzler performing, but she's actually not just performing. She is doing combat and drops these people, and she wins using her powers. So, and she goes, I did it. I won. I wasn't scared. I didn't. I couldn't hold back. Ivich was right. This is where I belong. This is my home. And Ivich goes, of course, says, that's the spirit. Daz, drink in those cheers. The more you get, the more you'll want. And so, and you know what, though? This looks like the Molecule Man. This doesn't look like the Beyonder. So she's being observed, though. I assume that was the Beyonder, but it could very well be the Molecule Man, who, as we know in this first Secret Wars, he plays a key part. So, all right. So Kitty tosses that thing back at him, and she says, done, Horseface. Fast work, and you watch your mouth, honey. I ain't somebody you ought to make angry. And she's like, whatever you say. Impressive. This sucker works better than before. Okay, Cat, you are hired. And so suddenly here, a Dazzler's waking up, Sunspot here. And she's like, can you hear me? Are you all right? And he says, I'll live. No thanks to you. Who are you anyway? And she says, Alison Blair. I'm called Dazzler. When Sam Guthrie originally came to me to rescue, I was with him. I'm here to help. That's right. You saved Ivich and struck down Amara with your cursed light blast, the same way you did me tonight. If this is the way you aid your friends, we want none of it. And Dazzler says, I couldn't help myself. And besides, it was either stun you all or see somebody get killed. Please trust me, she says here. And you see Sunspot here kind of holds her hand away and says, not a chance. I watched you in the arena. You loved being center stage. You're a fame addict, Dazzler. You're the kind of person who'll do anything to get and keep that kind of glory. And of course, she says, that's not true. And Magma says, listen, I hear doubt in your voice. If you don't believe yourself, why should we? And Magma continues, besides, we stay and serve because Flynn gives us no choice. Innocent children are being held hostage to our obedience. And of course, Kitty modified the radio so it's a two-way, so she can hear what they're saying as well. And so um, she says, first thing to do is find out if Flynn's threat is legit. I'll lay odds, though, it's a bluff. I feel so lousy about Allison. This wouldn't have happened if I hadn't let her walk into this lion's den, and yet we can't coddle and protect her forever. Somewhere, sometimes she has to confront who and what she is. I just wish things had turned out better for her. Moment of truth. Will my in improvised toy reach Sam? And so it does. And so Sam answers and says, how's by you? Could be better, could be worse. Some spot are all right. And he asks about Dazzler. One for my conscience, Cannonball. I'm really sorry. She says, makes two of us, girl. We'll make our next move during the Gladiators' next match. Here is the plan. So, and so the next morning, they're out practicing, and Dazzler says, everything's gone wrong. Every time I try to talk to Bobby, he insults me or walks away. He won't listen. He won't trust me. What am I going to do? How can I help if they won't let me? It isn't fair. Choosing to sing cost me my father's love. The same way joining the Gladiators has cost me the mutants' friendship and respect. Why should I even care anymore? I did my best. If they're too stubborn to and stupid to accept, and Magma, of course, says, pay attention, golden hair. If you're as careless in the arena, you're sure to find yourself badly singed. And of course, she notices Magma's hurling a lava bolt here. I ducked. It missed me barely. I could have been badly burned. Such a pity, Menina. You've leapt from the fire to the proverbial frying pan. Happy landings as he tosses her and she yells Bobby's name. I have you, Dazzler. Bless you, Lexi. Those rotten little twerps, they were deliberately trying to hurt me. And of course, Sunspot's like, she was in no danger. I have caught her if no one else did. I wasn't trying to hurt her, only give her a primo fight. It appears I succeeded. And she says, proud of yourself, Shorty? Nothing's forgotten, Sunspot, nothing. And Dazzler pays her debts with interest. The only thing I've ever wanted to do was be a star. Is that so wrong? Does that make me evil? Is that why everyone resents and hates me? I figured us being mutants made us kindred souls. My mistake. The New Mutants and I are quits, DaCosta. From now on, Dazzler looks out for number one, herself. And of course, the person that's been looking at this goes, splendid, my dear, splendid. Every day in every way, your own inner fears and terrors drive you away from your friends and bind you ever more closely to me. And so outside now, Rachel goes, I'm meditating, Sam, trying to locate the odd psychic presence I felt earlier. And he asks, you figure it's that Beyonder fella? And Magic says, of course. Why do you think she's looking so hard? He really shook you up, Eliana. And she says, that was no illusion in limbo, Sam. That was me. I'm a demon sorcerer, a part of my fundamental self. My soul is evil. The Beyonder brought that to the surface with the same unthinkable ease you draw a breath. If not for Kitty, I'd have killed you, or worse. Next time, we may not be so lucky. That's a that's hard to live with. My bad. And so, wonder why he came to Earth, Sam asks. Boredom, probably. A celestial sadist out for some cheap thrills. And he says, I don't buy that, Eliana. There's got to be a better reason. He possesses that sort of power only the Lord's supposed to have. Maybe that's who he is, she says. Unless he's the devil. Whichever, how the heck do we fight him? We could just as easily, we could die just as easily down there, Sam. That's different. That's real, Eliana. It's human. Like when I risked in the mines, there's risks, but it came down with the territory. It was something all the men understood and accepted. But this Beyonder, how can you play his game when he makes up the rules and he goes along and changes them whenever he feels like it? And Eliana says, as best you can, silly, and pray we get really lucky. So I love how Bill Sienkiewicz I just love it here. So here he is kind of playing with her hair, and it's just, and I mean, it just looks so freaky. This is just amazing. Bill Sienkiewicz, which by the way, he's almost done. So, um, yeah, his run unfortunately is about done here. So, um, and so Rachel says, no sign of him. He's either long gone or hiding from my probes. But Kitty radioed the bouts tonight. Figures it's Saturday. And so if I disable this junction, I should KO the lights in the surveillance system. The gladiators will be blind and deaf. And so the alarm goes off, at least until the backup systems come online. There goes the alarms, and so here is Kitty coming through, and they recognize Bobby recognizes her, and they hug here. The cavalry's arrive, hotshot, and so um and she says, "What a welcome! I should do this more often." As they hug, but Kitty, what are we to do if Amara and I know about Flint's threats. That's why I didn't contact you before. I had to check it out. There are no kids, Bobby, no hostages. And of course, he's like the swine. So, so they're gonna basically say here that after the match begins, Sam, Ray, and Ileana are going to raise such a ruckus the cops will have no choice but to bust this place in spite of the bribes. Ah, shoot, just what we need. It's him, ain't him, the Beyonder. And so they say, yeah, but he really does look like the Molecule Man. And so Ileana says, stand aside, whatever you are, leave us be, or else you won't catch me by surprise this time, creep. I'm ready for you, and I won't tell you twice. And so the Beyonder just kind of smiles, and then goes to touch the sword here, and Kitty grabs Ileana with her power here and says, "Are you crazy, Ileana? You saw what he did to us and the X-Men. Didn't you learn your lesson then? We can't hope to fight him. We have to reach out to reach him to communicate." And so there's a lot of verbiage here, but essentially it's about reaching him and peacefully. And so she does reach out to him. I love this part of the art kind of melding through. So she reaches out. And so Sam is concerned, so he goes and grabs her and he says, "What'd he say, Ray?" And Phoenix says, "A light, Sam, so beautiful yet so terrible, like the stories told about my mom about Dark Phoenix. Beyond that, I can't remember." And then Liana says, "He vanished when we grabbed you. I guess he had his fun with us and went looking for new toys to play with. Good riddance." And so, all right. So now back at the mansion here, they're continuing their plan. Um, and Kitty says, "We'll use the confusion to cover our getaway. I want to deal with Flynn myself," says Sunspot. "Don't let him drag you down to his scummy level, Bobby. Leave him to the law. Be ready for my signal. I'll warn Amy and Dazzler." And so she phases through the room here and she says, "So far, so good. They haven't restored main power yet, the slow pokes. But it can't take much longer. What is this? Her diary." And she goes, "I love the fame. I want to be a star, but not at the cost of my soul. Bravo, Dazzler. You face your inner demon, and at last, just as you did in Japan, and triumphed. You may not be a star, but that just proves yourself a hero." And you can see her eyes. Something's wrong here. You're awake, Allie. Don't let my disguise throw you. It's me, Kitty. Crumbs, this has been real awful for you, hasn't it? Probably the hardest thing you've ever done. Well, the worst is behind you. Your nightmare's over. Daz, what are you? She's glowing, too bright to focus. Can't focus thoughts. And you can see her smiling and grabbed from behind. You're quite mistaken, Sherry. Dazzler's nightmare is far from over. We still don't quite see who this is here. On the contrary, hers and yours have only just begun. And Kitty goes, "I know that voice." And my face as well, I wager, as she laughs. He read my thoughts, but my shy shields and are as nothing, my darling, as a true adept. No, impossible. It can't be you. And so we're going down here, and Sunspell's like, "Where's Kitty? Preliminary bouts are over. We're next, Amara. Should we have gotten a signal by now? Be calm, Berto. Be patient. Shadowcat's an X-Men. We can count on her." Suddenly, the Dazzler's singing here, and Bobby says, "Something's wrong. I know it. Look, Dazzler's begun her song. That's the cue for the main event." And suddenly, this thing comes crashing through, and they're like, "Blessed Madonna." And so we've reached our Rubicon, my friend. We must be killed or be killed. And so that creature says, "That, children, is precisely the idea. And since your foe is in reality your world be savior locked within a robotic shell under my control, regardless of what transpires, I shall be the ultimate victor." Next, the conclusion, Saturday Night Fight, which will also be Bill Sienkiewicz's final issue. So, all right, The New Mutants, number 30 by Chris Claremont and Bill Sienkiewicz. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.